Salakia. We having some stupid little problems with the network, y'all. Salakia. We trying to straighten it out here. Give me 1 second. We trying to straighten it out. You know who's the devil, goddammit. You know who's the devil. Damn devil that the Bible speaks of, man. You know who the devil is. Look, we getting it on, though. We getting it on. Just, it's a lot. Oh, okay. Just the bottom. Just bring the bottom. Oh, okay. The water. Salakia. So we went into propaganda and we went on everything about propaganda, man. How it works, what happened in the past with propaganda, and that this propaganda has been going on for goddamn centuries upon centuries, man. Let's get the next slide. We're just gonna keep it moving. All right. We're just gonna keep on keeping it moving, man. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna stop nothing, goddammit. We just gonna keep on keeping it moving.
I said that. No,
oh, let's go on with the next slide. We're gonna keep it up. Look. We already went through Hannibal, we got through that. We got through propaganda, how it went in the past, and how it's working now. They have perfected the art of propaganda, which is taking control of men's minds, the way we think. You understand? Our preview of reality has been hijacked with this propaganda. And we're gonna get some scriptures to show how that's possible and how they're doing that. Let's get some of these scriptures, man. Give me matter of fact, let's go straight to Christ. Give me John 8:44. Let's find out what Christ says about this propaganda and these lies with these people, man. And how these people work and how they put it down on us, man. Let's find out what Christ's talking about.
Wow. 44. John chapter 8.
You know what I'm saying? Because we went all through the past and how the Greeks formulated lies and the control of men's minds, and how it went to the Romans, and how from there it formulated and it grew, and they were able to take control of men's minds through the new media. You understand? And that's pushing data through your cell phone to get you to think in a certain way. Don't type in religion on your phone or the true culture and identity of African Americans. They always going to push you towards some Christian ideology. You understand? All people are the same. Everybody's the same. Love everybody, but we the only people that ain't getting no love. You understand? The Ku Klux Klan, their official religion is Baptist Christian, Southern Baptist Christian. How can you be the same religion as a Ku Klux Klan member? How can you be equally yoked with the Ku Klux Klan? You know how? Propaganda. And we are equally yoked with the Klan, unless you're in the Isupkbmore. You're equally yoked with the Klan, because Christianity is white supremacy. They created to be white supremacy. They hijacked it. They hijacked a movement just like they did Black Lives Matter. What do you see on the TV now? You see white folks killing white folks. That teenager that murdered people, that murdered the protesters, protesters, he murdered white folks. Because you got two groups of white folks clamoring and fighting how they're going to treat Negroes. And we're siding with one or the other, like a slave. If you're a Republican, you're a slave. If you're a Democrat, you're a slave. I don't see Democrats and Republicans any differently. Like people say, Donald Trump is racist. Donald Trump is racist. He's a racist.
44.
Joe Biden is a bigger racist. So we vote just to choose the white man that we figure is the least racist. This is a losing strategy. It's a game. It's in vain. All right? We have to do things that benefit us. Ask yourself truthfully, without emotion, because I always get an emotional response every time I ask this question. What does voting do for black folks? You got to ask yourself that question. Because propaganda deals with a lot of emotion, especially when you're dealing with voting. Our ancestors died for us to get the opportunity to go vote. And when I come along and say voting is in vain, it's like saying our ancestors died for nothing. Our ancestors didn't have this Bible. They didn't have the truth. They didn't understand that they were dealing with the devil, with the deceiver, with propaganda. They didn't understand that. So they thought they could pick a local leader that would have their best interests at heart, or they could pick a white man who was not as racist and as vile as the other one. Don't get me to talking. Let's get that scripture though.
John.
You gotta do it loud, or you gotta get the mic. Because we can't hear you online.
Right.
Just do this one real quick and then set the mic up for me.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get moving because we're a little back on time.
John chapter 8, verse 44.
Go ahead.
Ye are of your father, the devil.
Ye are of your father, the devil. This is Christ. He's talking to black men. He's saying, ye are of your father, metaphysically. The power structure at that time was Rome. So he's talking to the people, the Sadducees, and he's Pharisees, and he's saying that you are of your father, the devil, meaning the philosophy that you have in your mind, the propaganda that you dealing with in your mind, the emotion that you dealing with is of the father of propaganda. The devil that the Bible speaks of. Christ is saying, you are of your father, the devil, man. Come on, we got to get this. This is serious. This is Christ talking. Read on.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
The lust of your father you'll do. Your father likes to lie. He likes to lie and deceive, push propaganda on the people so that they start to think like he thinks, so that they start to do vile evil. They start to be vile dicky monsters and carpet munchers, man. We start to be drive-by shooters. We start to be gangbangers. When they're the gangbangers, they're the drive-by shooters. They're the drug dealers. Nobody in America could sell more dope than Ronald Reagan in the CIA. It's not possible. Black people don't have warehousing and transportation industries and companies and corporations to be able to push dope in every black neighborhood in America. The logistics just doesn't add up. But still, black people are viewed as being the drug dealer and the criminal. That's because of propaganda. It's dictated purely by emotion and not by intellect and facts. There is no way that a black man could be a drug dealer. Not the source. That's impossible. The only thing a black man can be when dealing with drugs is a victim. A victim of an environment that was pushed and propagandized to destroy him. All right? Go ahead, brother.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
He was a murderer from the beginning. From the womb, they are murderers, man. From the womb. That teenager lived in another state. But his racism, his rage, his hatred for the children of Israel, for the innocent, for the righteous, for a righteous call for justice, for a righteous call for humanity. His hatred of that drove him across state lines to hunt. And when he got there, he found an argument and he was able to hunt. And that's what he did. He hunted. And all the other hunters around him allowed him to hunt. We're going too deep now. Go ahead.
And abode not in the truth.
Well, not in the truth, man. There's no truth in these people. They created propaganda to lie and to mold the minds of people with lies. What other people on earth has ever done that? And you tell me they're not the deceiver? Tell me what other people on earth have done that. Who created propaganda? All the way back to the Greeks. Go ahead, brother.
Because there is no truth in him.
There is no truth. There is no truth because there is no morality. There is no humanity in him. When you are a nation, I'm not talking about individuals here. I'm talking about a nation. When you are a nation absent morality, you are not able to hear the call of a people that's telling you to treat them with humanity for 4 centuries. You can't hear it. You're going to say that was in the past. I'm not responsible for that. You can't hold me responsible for what my ancestors did. I can hold you responsible for the dope that's in my community, for the poverty that's been laid down in my community, for the laws of stop and frisk, for the laws of 3 strikes you're out, for the school to prison pipeline. But you can't see that. From the womb, they were liars and deceivers. This is why there is no need to have a conversation about race with these people. You can't. They can't see it. They cannot understand. They think they are treating you with humanity. When they murder you, you can look at the same video as an oppressor with you running and them shooting you in the back, and they'll say his life was in danger. There is no truth in them. Read on, brother.
When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own.
Look, when the oppressor lies, he's talking about himself. When he calls you a criminal, He's speaking of his own. He called you a murderer. He's speaking of his own. Every bullet that's in the black neighborhood was forged and made and created by the hand of the oppressor. Every piece of powder, every gram of crack, of fentanyl, of weed, of heroin, of Molly, every pill, all of it, the Brooks, all of the pills that the perks, all of them that they put out there were created, manufactured, warehoused, trucked, and moved to locations to put in black communities. All pharmaceutical drugs, man. By the oppressor. All of it. Every stitch of powder that you put up your nose. And that's not to say that you are not responsible. You are responsible. And the Lord going to deal with you for that. But there is an oppressive regime that pushes these things to black people. You finished with that, or you got some more?
Some more, sir.
Go ahead.
For he is a liar and the father of it.
He's the liar, the progenitor of lies, man. We just read the history on propaganda. The history of it. They created it and critiqued it and moved it to a place where they could control the minds of people through the airways, brother. Through the airways. You got more?
Sir.
All right, let's get Ephesians 2 and 2. Let's get Ephesians 2 and 2. Show you who they are. You want to know what propaganda is and who they are? I show you who they are, brother. I show you it ain't no thing. Let me know when you got that.
Got it, sir.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure that's the one I want. Ephesians 2 and 2. Yeah, let's get that. Let's roll with that. Listen up. This is serious right here. Go ahead, brother.
Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Where in time past ye walked according to the course of this world.
Look, in times past, we walked according to this world. Meaning, this world is the world of the Edomite, of the oppressor. Where we eat pork, we'll have threesomes. Yeah, we'll have sex with the carpet muncher and her friend. We won't tell her that sister is wrong to have sex with another woman. It's wrong to do that. You're corrupting sisterhood. You're twisting it into something vile, into a vile love. You're not going to be happy doing this. You're going to destroy each other. You're going to destroy your relationship with this man by allowing this threesome. All right? Go ahead, brother.
According to the prince of the power of the air.
The prince of the power of the air. That is he who controls the airways. Understand, this is the Bible. This is written thousands of years ago. The prince of the power of the air. Listen to that. The prince, he's in rulership of the power of the air. He's pushing propaganda through the airways to control the way you think. You understand me? Democrat or Republican. Why are most Democrats found here? Why are most Republicans found here? Why are people that think this way found here and here? This This is the propaganda of the oppressor, man. This is his propaganda. Why do all black people always want to forgive the murderer of their children, of their brother, of their mother? I forgive you. I hope you have a good life. I don't want you to go to jail. Because there is an image of God. And that image is of every oppressor who lives. That image is which we have nailed humanity on. Anything that does not look like that is not valued, is not worthy of humanity. So it's easy to put them to death. 10% of black males sentenced to death are innocent of that crime. Sent to death row for propaganda reasons, not reasons of actual facts or intellect. It's black people are criminals and they do this. That's it. Based on that, that's it. We have so many black men being exonerated for crimes they never did, never participated in, didn't have even police records, had nothing to do with but their skin. Something about that skin. Propaganda, brother. Go ahead.
The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience.
That spirit worketh within us, man. Oh, man. They got us in the spirit of absolute iniquity. We are drowning in filth. We're drowning in it. We are having surgeries to turn ourselves into, look, we are having our rods removed. So turned inside out. So another man can violate us with a rod. Unconscionable. It's unconscionable. And to come out in the daylight with it, it's unconscionable. But that is the power of propaganda. That's the power of imagery. That's the power of what they do. That's the devil. Read on.
Verse 3. Among whom also we have all had our conversations in times past in the lust of our flesh.
Could not. Stop. The lust of our flesh, man. To satiate our flesh with the dope. To satiate our flesh with the sex. And then use the propaganda that they gave us to continue in the filth. God did away with the laws. He did away with the laws. He didn't do away with the law of paying tithes. But you can be a flat-out homosexual. You can do that. That you can do. You can eat pork, shrimp, and lobster. You can eat all that. That you can do. You got to pay them tithes, right? Even when you read in the Bible that Christ himself said he didn't do away with the laws. That doesn't matter. The oppressor said he did. It don't matter if it's in the Bible or not. I'm not even looking for it. I believe the oppressor. I turn from my power and I give myself to the devil. That's what we doing, man. That's what we're doing, and that's why we're so weak in it. Read on.
Fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind.
Fulfilling the desires of the flesh. That's what propaganda does. The prince of the power of the air. I gotta watch this porn. I gotta watch this porn and release my flesh. I gotta satiate what's inside of me, and I gotta release it. Why? Because he did away with the laws, and it's okay. It's okay if I buy her, even though she's mentally disturbed. She's out there because she don't know what the hell love is. She thinks every trick loves her. She is completely and totally destroyed with every disease on the planet, willing and ready and able to give it to you, and you so dumb. You got to satiate your flesh and not give a damn about that sister who has been raped and in a damn sex slave, and she got to satiate her own goddamn drug addiction to let you violate her in this way. But you do it willingly. You have no morality. You don't give a damn about that sister, man. Because God loves everybody. You're supposed to love everybody. The unintended consequence of it is you love your oppressor more than you love your people. Let's get the next slide, brother. Let's move on. We gotta hurry up. What's that next slide?
That's the photo of the dude with the whip with the animal.
Hmm?
Look like you got the animals. You whipping some.
All right. This is us back in Greece. Back in Greece and back in Rome when we was in the Colosseum. Fighting in the Colosseum, just like we do today. We fighting in the Colosseum as gladiators.
Right.
Who are the athletes? They show you gladiator pictures that they paint as complete fakes of white people fighting in the gladiatorial arenas. That's a lie.
Right.
That is a lie. They would not put their life on the line for that. These were games, just like the NBA. Nothing's changed. Just like the NBA and the NFL, when they come to a game and sit in a comfortable stadium, they watch black men rough it out, hurt each other, destroy each other, have enmity with each other. But back then, black men had to kill each other for the entertainment of the oppressor. Next slide, brother. But what do? They change the imagery of it. They show you imagery of white people fighting in the gladiatorial games. It's nothing. It's just like today. Nothing's changed. The people that entertain are always us. Next slide, brother. They change the color and the makeup of the people. That's propaganda. Let's get First Maccabees 3:48. All right, we got to understand who the devil is, and we looking at Adam and Eve right now. These are the first images of Adam and Eve, the oldest that they can find back there in the Roman catacombs somewhere, man. The oldest that they can find, and they are clearly Negroid. Clearly. You understand me? But there's a reason why they made them another color. You got that scripture?
Come on.
Go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
Look, the book of the law is the Bible. It's God's law. Speaking of Leviticus, everything in there is the law. It's God's law. But the heathen went into that book and put his image in it. Painted his image in it. And from a little child, we look at pictorial images of the oppressor as gods and as prophets. What does that teach us? To respect these people. This is why in every Christian church, people are told, you can't judge me. Who's you? Holier than thou. Only Christ can judge me. They never read the damn Bible. They just went off the propaganda that the oppressor gives them. I can and I will judge you righteously because I love you and I'm the only one that can. I'm charged with an oath and with a pledge to love you, Negro. By way of the Most High God, who tells me to tell my people their transgressions. God damn it, I'm going to tell you. I will tell you. All right? Go ahead, bro.
Next verse. Verse 49. They brought also the priest's garments and their first fruits and the tithes.
They took over the whole goddamn culture of it. Living in our land, taking over our holy days. Acting like they the goddamn chosen. Read on.
And the Nazarites they stirred up, who had accomplished their days.
Taking all kinds of vows, you know what I'm saying, of the people. Yeah, basically usurped the people and became the people, just like they did in Carthage. And we talked about Hannibal and their people. Like, this is a people of lies and deceit that goes deeper than you could possibly realize or imagine. Like, it's that serious to them. Like, they'll take everything, even your identity. They are over there living in the land of the Lord, saying that they are the children of Israel. It is disgusting. Why would they go that deep and that far? They were made this way. The Bible says that they are a different manner of people. They don't think like us. The way you think is nothing compared to the way they think. We got to go off of logic, not the way we think or feel. Read on.
Verse 50. Then cried they with a loud voice toward heaven, saying, what shall we do with these, and whither shall we carry them away?
Look, after destroying the children of Israel, they carried away all the Lord's good things. What shall we do with them? They put us in coliseums. Let us murder each other. Made slaves out of us. Put dope in our communities. Let us kill each other. We forged an empire with these people. An empire. broken and in poverty. They left us broken. Read on, brother.
Verse 51. For thy sanctuary is trodden down and profane.
Right now, in the land of Israel, they're having gay rights parades. Right now. They got the rainbow. They having parades over there. They're doing abominations. You understand me? They're selling drugs, creating pills, party pills. This is the heathen. They put their images in the book of the law. They told us that Christ did away with the law of God when Christ came to affirm those laws and to heighten those laws and to explain those laws. They lied on him, man. They said that he was a white man with a Roman toga, when clearly the Bible describes him as a very masculine black man, as an austere man. They lied on him, man. And over the years, they pushed so much propaganda, put the image of Cesare Borgia in children books to destroy the minds of our children. That is vile. It is a crime of epic proportions. It takes the self-esteem of our children and throws it in the toilets. You got more, brother?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead.
And thy priests are in heaviness and brought low.
No, come on, man. We over here brought low. We over here preaching about, trying to explain that somebody stole everything from us. And they over there in wealth and in splendor and in decadence and in power. Every time we speak up, we lose our job. We can't go on TV no more. Our legacies are destroyed for even speaking. That's oppression, brother. That's oppression. And you think you're not a slave when you can't even talk about a people? You can't even tell the truth about a people? Yeah, give me a time check, bro.
8:30.
All right. All right, let's get the next slide. Let's move on. Let's get Revelations 12 and 9. See what we got here. All right. The goddamn serpent. The damn serpent whispering in our sister's ear. The propaganda that tells our sisters, abort your baby and you can get an education. Leave that black man and you can take his money and live in his house and don't have to do anything. You can take everything he got. Destroy him. And you can be in charge. You can be God. This is the original promise of the serpent. Who is that serpent? We you know what I'm saying? We go into Revelations and we know that that serpent morphed into a dragon. So what does that mean? This is just metaphors, man. Saying that serpent, that stinking deceiver, morphed into something of strength that controls all around him. You understand? He grew in power. So he's just not a liar anymore. So if he can't control your mind, he'll murder you. You understand? Dr. King said, you know what? I may have integrated my people into a burning building, man. I put them into a building with a people that will never accept them, that will destroy them, that will create laws to destroy them. I integrated them into this, and he was remorseful for this. They murdered him. They murdered him for that. Let that sink in for a minute, man. That lying, disgusting deceiver that could not even be amongst men is now powerful with the most advanced weapons on the earth that can kill you without stepping into your neighborhood. Where we at, brother?
Revelation chapter 12, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out.
That great dragon was cast out. Cast out of rulership. This is a future prophecy. That great dragon is the oppressor, his army. His military forces were cast out. So this is a future prophecy talking about him being out of power. Read on.
That old serpent called the devil.
That old serpent back in the garden that was whispering in that black woman's ear and telling her to get an abortion. Get an abortion. You can get an education. Telling Adam to go and telling Eve to go against her husband, to betray him. You don't need him. Don't need no man. Need no black man. Can't tell me nothing. Nigga can't tell me nothing. He don't even pay his part of the rent to live here, right? Ain't that right, sis? Come on, read on.
Called the devil.
Called the who?
Called the devil.
The devil, the deceiver. Read.
And Satan.
Read on.
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Which deceiveth who?
Which deceiveth the whole world.
Who puts out propaganda to deceive the whole world? There is but one. He got CNN, WGY, YOU,
ABC,
WABC,
NBC,
TFZ, YOU. Look, check this out. He got everything to push the way he thinks upon us. He uses imagery. He uses a little bit of truth and a lot of lies to dissuade us and push us into a way of thinking. He shores his numbers up in elections by getting black people to vote Democratic. Look, let me give a surprise to you, black man. It don't matter whether you vote Republican or Democratic. There's still going to be dope in your community. There's not going to be black businesses in your community. People are going to die in your community unnecessarily through anger and emotion. Because that's where he pushes his propaganda. The highest portion of his evil. We forged a nation with him, gave them the most powerful nation on the earth. They left us in poverty and and broken and destroyed. We owe no allegiance to this people. We owe this people no love. You got any more on that, brother?
Come, sir. He was cast out into the earth.
Yeah, it's a future prophecy. He was cast out of power in the earth, out of power. Read on.
And his angels were cast out with him.
And his generals, all of his Trump supporters. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. This is a future prophecy. All his supporters was cast out with him. Read on.
Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation.
Now is come salvation. When that oppressor is pushed out of power, now our people can detox from the propaganda and from the slavery. Read on.
And strength and the kingdom of our God.
Go ahead.
And the power of his Christ.
That's the only way we can receive power, is to get rid of the propaganda that these people have been pushing on us for all of these centuries. Go to the next slide. We got to move on. In Zechariah 5 and 7 too. All right, so we got the true Jews of the Bible and have been chronicled in many different nations where we were slaves. You know what I'm saying? Showing us as a woolly-haired people. What we showing right now is clearly not white folks. This is what the Assyrians saw when this Assyrian relief, when Negroes went into slavery, when the children of Israel went into slavery. This is what we look like. We had our little scruffy beard, our little woolly hair. That's what we look like. Go ahead and read that, brother.
What was that again? Zechariah what?
Not the scripture on the screen.
Oh.
Black Israel.
Black Israel. Behold the black people who wrote the Bible. From the British Museum in London, the afro-haired men shown above are the ancient Israelites.
Look. You can't deny, you can't get by. There was too many images put down in different civilizations to show what the children of Israel look like. So we got to get past the lies. Read on, brother.
Known as the Hebrews.
Go ahead.
The image you are looking at is by the Assyrians who destroyed Israel 3,000 years ago.
So the Assyrians put Israel into slavery 3 centuries ago. 3,000 years ago, man. 3,000 years ago. They were not stringy-haired white people, man. Read on.
As confirmed by the image, the Hebrews who wrote the Bible were black people.
Good night. So this backs up and affirms the Bible. This archaeological fact, this fact that's based off of science, imagery, backs up what the Bible is saying the image of the people of Israel look like. Any more, brother?
The Bible, among other things, tells the history of the Hebrews.
All right, go ahead to the next slide. This is talking about the real Hebrews of the Bible. So we know that the heathen took their images and transposed them on the book of the law. And we know how they do this by what's called whitewashing. So you have St. George the Dragon Slayer. St. George the Dragon Slayer up in Russia, man. Because this is where after 70 AD they took our people as slaves and we broke those bonds. We broke those bonds during the Dark Ages. And we were able to rule in a lot of provinces in up and around Europe. We wasn't totally right. This wasn't the kingdom or anything. But they started whitewashing those people. They whitewashed King George the Dragon Slayer because he was a royal, a saint, born to be a leader, born to be a priest. The royalty and the kingship given by God. They had to whitewash him and make him, of course, a white man in order to legitimize the propaganda that they was pushing forth. Go ahead, priest.
They went so far they even changed the horse to white.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anything black is undesirable.
Right.
Anything dark is undesirable. The oppressive is anything, he's thorough. He is absolutely thorough in his hatred of the children of Israel. This is in Russia, man. This is in Russia and what they did to us and the propaganda that they put out with us. We ain't got much time. We got about 3 more minutes, so let's move on, brother. Let's move on. We know about the whitewashing because we read about how they did. They went into the book and they created imagery. They created imagery of royal black people. And they put themselves in that spot and made themselves royal. When they never had any royalty, man. They never had any right to lead or any right to do the vile, disgusting things that they do to people, man. They did not civilize the world, they destroyed it. The world had rules, morality, until this people took over the wicked. That the Bible says the wicked, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. Because even in Russia, even Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, knows, he's seen the artwork, he knows that his country was ruled by black people. But they'll never admit it. Give me the next slide, brother.
That one with Putin on it, or you want the next one after that?
The next one. They will never admit that this people are the royal people, that they got their kingship from. Their line only goes back so far. Then they took the royalty from us, a bunch of cutthroats and criminals. You understand me? The saints of the earth were black people. The ones that are in the ghetto right now, man. The ones suffering right now, man. And give me Zechariah 11:5. You understand me? And we got a depiction of King David, man, who is a black man. We got a depiction of Moses, who is a black man. These are some of the earliest depictions of our people, of the royalty of our family. And they whitewashed them. Because they have no royalty. They don't go back to a royal seed, to a chosen seed. They go back to the deceiver and to the devil chronicled in the Bible. That's what the oppressor goes back to. You don't want to push too much back into history. You understand? Zechariah 11 and 5.
Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them
Go ahead.
and hold themselves not guilty.
Whose possessors slay them. We are possessed by people. Come on, stop playing. Take the emotion out of it. We are possessed by people who control our every way of life. That is not freedom. That's not freedom. School to prison pipeline is not freedom. It's not freedom when you stop by the police and go to jail for a crime you did not commit. Being scrutinized so closely just to find something. This is not freedom. Have to worry about your child being shot, being murdered, being accused. This is not freedom. This is not peace. Read on, brother.
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord.
Look here, man. They hold themselves not guilty, man. They'll put dope in your community, lock you up for the dope they put in your community, blame you and call you a criminal. You understand me? They'll put the guns in your community. You know what I'm saying? Lord Christ, brother. They'll put the guns in your community and then blame you and accuse you of being a shooter. They will put the danger and the poverty in your community and then tell you that you are slothful and lazy because your community is doing bad because they took all the resources out. You understand? That's what this oppressor does. That's the power of propaganda. Even though we don't have the power and the resources to bring dope from other countries into black communities all over America. We don't have the resources to warehouse and to relocate guns of various calibers. We don't have the facilities to create them, but yet they somehow get in our communities and in the hands of our children. And we're told that we're criminals. Somehow the propaganda gets out. Atlanta housewives. Every goddamn show on TV shows black people being a criminal. Cops. These reality shows. Talk about reality, but these people are paid to be unruly, loudmouth black people to fit a stereotype that was created by the oppressor. This is propaganda. Give me a time check, brother.
8:52.
55. Let's get this last scripture.
8:55.
Give me Exodus 11 and 7, and we gonna close it up from there. Exodus 11 and 7. Propaganda is a deadly goddamn thing and a deadly game that this oppressor plays, man. He has put these things into play and he has been critiquing it and pushing this propaganda on us for thousands of years, brother. We went into the history. There is no denying it. Everything that we have learned in the public schools and in the private schools and in the church schools of this oppressor must be critiqued. We must have freedom. We must have justice from this people. You got that?
Come.
All right, read on.
Exodus chapter 11, verse 7.
Go ahead.
But against any of the children of Israel.
This is a future prophecy, man. This is a future prophecy. You understand? All the things they say about black people today, we lazy, we shiftless, we criminals, we garbage. We are the problem. We're the problem. Read on.
Shall not a dog move his tongue?
Look, there's going to come a day just like it came in the land of Egypt thousands of years. Not a filthy dog, this oppressor, will not be able to move his filthy goddamn tongue and lie about the children of Israel, man. They will not be able to build a town and a city and a country off of blood. Build it up strong and have their people wealthy and peaceful while we die in the ghetto. They won't be able to wag their tongue against us, man. There won't be no propaganda in this future prophecy, man. With that, I pass the class over to priest and officer Mathum Chikari. That's great. We got fix that.
We got class tomorrow.
I gotta fix that.
Security announcement. We are the Isupkbmore out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the command of General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithe, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, 8 to 10. It means 10th in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashura. A tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, up and coming holy convocation. Memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. The first day of the 7th month, Thursday, September the 17th, 2020. It's in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, the 24th and the 25th verse. Remind Akim and Aquatim to check on social media such as Isupkbmore.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for Isupkbmore events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which means includes like boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courteous salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Amadu Shabbat. Amadu. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh.
And with that, class dismissed.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Hand over here, every man trying to follow. Feel pain, and a lot of doubt. Got the train so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road, like a sideshow. And no far I broke. Now I'm saying goodbye to prison bands on this time smoke. Red with no hope, trying to find direction. The world got vexed, picked up a bag, and had it, that's so